We are live. It is Filmaholics Entertainment Podcast, Episode 6. Let's go. Woo! FAP is Filmaholics Entertainment Podcast for the two men below us who may not know what the heck we're talking about.
I thought you were saying FAP, and I was like,
that's the point.
Do I right now? Because I think we're live on YouTube, and I don't think you can get advertisers if I started fapping right now. Like, I don't know how you're going to make money.
Arrested.
Yeah. And he's in jail.
Different kind of films.
Yeah. Not even talking film. We're just talking about FAP, I guess. Well, hey, welcome everybody, the viewers all across the world. Yes, I do say across the world because we are now, we've been downloaded in 3 different countries: the United States, South America, or continents. I don't know the countries, continents, and one in like, what was it? But
Belgium.
Like, Belgium. Yeah, we have somebody in Belgium who downloaded.
He has good taste.
Got good.
You know, they always say the Belgians, great taste.
Belgians are Belgium. Am I dumb for asking that? Is that the same?
No, you're right. You're spot on.
Belgians are Belgium.
Hey, all right. let's rock.
You know the waffles?
Yeah.
They make a mean waffle. They have great taste.
They're not Germans who make those waffles?
Oh, Bavarian waffle.
I honestly thought, I don't know. Where's
the Bavarian waffle? Another favorite.
Yeah. Well, hey, everybody watching live, we've got, I think, 0 followers watching right now, but hey, keep following us.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out to all of them. Dude, last episode we had 4 people watching at one time. It was insane. I think it was...
That does sound insane.
So, boys, there's a lot of
control, dude. Holy shit.
I might start fapping. If 4 people show up, I'm gonna fap. I am gonna fap.
Let's go. I hope somebody joins thinking they're getting a Mission Impossible Reckoning review and they're just hearing this from us. Well, hey, I have here today with us I guess of course you guys are used to Boo Radley joining in. But today we have 2 guests, a part of the FAP universe. We've got in the bottom left corner, we've got Seek here in his first episode. And then in the bottom right corner, we have the 19-0 star of you know,
Fuck You Dad podcast.
Yeah, Fuck You Dad podcast. Coming in weighing
not a podcast anymore.
Yeah, Nick Cartwright.
He kind of
Thank you.
He kind of looks like Special Olympics boxing, which I don't know why they don't have. They don't have Special Olympics boxing, and they really should.
I think I YouTubed that a couple times, just to see what would pop up. But yeah, you announced us in corners, and that got me really hyped. Like I was about to fight him. You're like in the left corner, in the right corner, like they do in boxing. This is gonna be hot. This is gonna be a hot pod.
I can feel the heat.
Yeah, Nick Cartwright just got off an 1.5-hour session of Omegle. He's ready to run the show here. So
okay, I'm switching it up. I'm switching up the box right now.
Well, just to start off, boys, how we start off the first episode for us is we just kind of went through our background with movies. The big point of this podcast is we're a bunch of guys who love movies but aren't like the number one knowledge behind it all. We're not gonna. I do a good amount of research, but Brad kind of comes in with opinions and things like that. So I mean, really, just what do you give us your background on just film for you and why you guys love movies in general. What kind of movies, all that kind of stuff. So Sig,
Nick, I'll start. I'm the alpha, Nick, so I'm going to start. Just wanted to say, so basically, I was like very casual movie guy, and then I took a film class in high school. Enjoyed it, got an A, no big deal. And then, from there, honestly, that taught me I liked older movies a bit. So I feel like I rewatch movies from like the 80s, 90s, 70s. But there's definitely a lot of gaps in my film knowledge. I'm by no means a movie critic.
Well, I mean, you got an A though in high school.
Yeah, obviously.
He got a D in English, but he got an A in he got an A in movie watching.
No, he was getting D in the gym locker room. He was getting a D.
Perfect. All right. Well, Steve, you're a very humble man, so we appreciate you jumping on here and gracing us with all your knowledge.
So humble, dude.
The most humble person you know.
He comes at you, hat in hand, he bows. Namaste.
Hey, Nick, you're up, baby. Give us a little background.
Okay,
What kind of movie watcher are you, buddy?
So I love scary movies, dark movies, mysteries, thrillers, that kind of shit.
Gotcha.
I liked movies for a while, and then I moved in with a girl who was a film editor, and then I met a bunch of her friends who were working on art school movies and stuff like that.
Shit. Okay.
And that's when I got to see some cool behind the scenes stuff, and then I really started to enjoy watching movies a bit more because I know how much work it is to put into that kind of stuff. So, and my favorite movie is Silence of the Lambs. That's my favorite. I don't know what Anthony's favorite movie is. Probably some stupid shit.
Your answer was way more conceited than mine. Oh, I just like movies because I just really know about them. Like I get you guys watch them.
I don't know anything. I got a little taste of the cool of the.
Yeah, that's not what you said though. That's not what you said. You're like, I just know a lot now about them. Yeah. I dated a girl who knew some people, and then
I never said dated,
and then lived with.
Nick essentially said I
think that's weirder. Lived with and didn't date.
I mean, it was a weird situation, sure.
All right. Well, that's all right. Well, Nick, we'll take a lot of that background you came in here with,
yeah,
and hopefully, tell us why we don't get movies like you do.
No, actually, you know what? I am going to stand by that. I'm going to stand by that because I do know more about movies already. Because I know what's going on. That's gonna be my energy this whole podcast. I know exactly what's going on in every single movie, and I am the expert.
You can tell by the look in his squinted eyes, he knows what's going on.
It's either bright but no eyes, or dark and you can't see me. That's the two options.
All right, I like it, man. Well, thank you both for jumping on today. We've got a few segments. Really, how it starts in the show here is our first segment, which is kind of going over movie news. This episode is very much an Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan inspired episode, I would say. Some are saying Oppenheimer is maybe the best movie of the year, depending on who you ask. But when it comes to this summer, at least, it's looking like right now it might be the best movie, at least of the summer, if not being up there as maybe a top 2 or 3. And that's our first topic, is going into Barbenheimer, the feel-good movie of the summer. I guess marketing event of the summer. I mean, guys, did you guys see all the Barbenheimer marketing and ads? Just kind of everyone being on Twitter with it all, and kind of I feel like it's kind of helping bring people to the movies.
It did seem like a big time meme, but I don't. People were talking about going to see them in the same day, and that's like a 9-hour ordeal. 9+. I mean, Oppenheimer's got to be close to 3 hours, right?
It's a 3-hour film. Yep.
Yep, of course. I mean, I'm pumped for it. Here's the thing. Can I just pitch an idea for it? If we're gonna start making movies, every fucking movie is I don't know what you can do. Every 2.5. Every movie's 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So we're gonna have to start putting in smoke breaks in movies because towards the end of the movie, I'm like, I want this to be done, and I could go for another one if we all take 5 minutes. We go outside. I get some M&Ms. I take 2 hits. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, dude, that used to be a thing. Intermissions used to be a thing in movies back in the 60s.
Yeah, because everyone needed to fucking smoke, so they were like, "Yo, this movie's longer than an hour. I need a cigarette."
And I think people have a problem with it now. Just the idea of having it it's just an excuse for people to bring their phone out. But at the same time, I mean, to me, it seems like it would make it where you wouldn't need to use your phone then during the movie. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean,
see, Nick has an old school addiction. Everyone else is addicted to their phone. Nick's addicted to weed. He likes to live simply like how people used to.
Exactly.
Okay. I like it. Well, hey, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to be kind of going into this weekend with the mentality of, okay, I can see a 3-hour, not a war epic, but like a historical epic about somebody we all, I guess, know the last name Oppenheimer. We don't know anything about him really. I mean, at least that's how when I first heard this, I kind of knew a little bit about him, but I didn't really know jack shit. And then you got one of the biggest names in all of not only advertisers, but just brand names in Barbie. And right now for the weekend, between the two, it seems like a lot more people are going to be going into seeing the Barbie movie with a projected of $140 million opening weekend compared to where it looks like Oppenheimer's about a $40 million. Now, when you guys hear that, okay, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts when you guys hear that?
I think immediately 2016 election projections don't mean shit.
I like it.
That's the entirety of my thoughts.
I mean,
I'm not surprised. Barbie's for little girls. It covers everybody. Who's gonna bring their children to Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I went on Threads today, and my first thread was like, the children need to see Oppenheimer. Just because,
the children need to see Oppenheimer.
yeah. I mean, I've heard it's a feel-good story movie of the weekend.
What was the youngest age that you went to the movie theater to see what do you think that threshold was for you?
First off, I do want to say that was a joke. I wasn't actually truly being like, the children need to go see Oppenheimer.
No, I know.
I've heard the movie itself is like you come out kind of like a horror film in a way, just because of the nuclear side of things. But I guess
also a child isn't. Most of it's going to go over their head completely, and they're not going to understand it.
Exactly.
I saw James Bond when I was like 7 years old in the theaters, and I saw my first grade teacher.
I bet that ruined the experience for you.
Still got hard.
My dad told me still got hard. My dad told me It was a comedy movie when I was 8. Now, granted, that wasn't in the theaters, but I watched it and I had a fear of clowns.
The clown coming out of the water.
Yeah, I had a fear of clowns my entire childhood. It wasn't in the theaters, but you know.
Do you remember what your first theater one was, Steve? Mine was Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man.
I don't remember it. I was told because it came out on my second birthday. Space Jam came out on my second birthday. And apparently I got brought to the theater for it, and I was terrible. Cried. Had to be brought out to the theater, and I'm like looking back now. I'm like, I'll never do that with a 2-year-old. Bring him to the theater.
It's a lot of stimulus.
Well, and for everyone else there on opening night, and you're just bringing a 2-year-old. What a cruel thing to do to everyone else in the theater.
You're sitting in the biggest chair you've ever sat in your life, and then a giant is just on the TV, and you have no idea what's going on. Yeah, that'd be terrifying as a little.
Yeah, apparently just cried, and it wasn't a good time. But that's the first movie I saw in the theater. Apparently, don't remember obviously, but yeah.
I think.
And I will say this as well. There already have been pre-orders for the movie. Right now, Oppenheimer has over 40,000. So 40,000 people have pre-ordered Barbie and Oppenheimer for the same day. So Nick, it's like that's half the marketing is the idea of like you go to one movie and then you see the other one. But I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard of the summer blockbusters really being kind of a failure. Now this is different because
I felt
Barbie,
it. Yeah, I haven't heard about it. I've seen it live. Yeah. I've paid for it.
Yeah, you're one of the few because there's not a lot of people paying for it. I will say that
they shouldn't. Bad.
This has been the definition of summer, I guess, just blockbuster fatigue. And I feel like Barbie is coming in with kind of the same same idea as almost like Mario, like a very big brand name, has probably a huge audience behind it that's going to come back it. Whereas Oppenheimer is coming in as like a new epic. I feel like it's coming in at a time where Tenet wasn't maybe Christopher Nolan's best work. But, with Christopher Nolan, we've all experienced just amazing experiences at the theaters with his movies, whether it's The Dark Knight, and we're going to talk about that later on today. Oppenheimer is just going to be maybe anytime you see a Christopher Nolan movie, it's like going to what a Spielberg movie was back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
I would say.
For sure.
So
if Christopher Nolan wasn't directing this, is any of this even news?
I don't think so. Oppenheimer is it's interesting because one, instead of calling it maybe I'm wrong, but why not call it atom bomb or nuclear warhead or I don't know, like World War II? It's the idea of it just being called Oppenheimer.
If it was a Marvel thing, it would be called Nuclear Warhead X3.
Yeah, Nuclear Warhead X3, Nuclear War. I mean, and I would say one thing that's helping Oppenheimer is the fact that it has every white A-list actor under the planet seeming to be in that movie. No, I'm emphasizing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how important that was. Kevin, can you dive into how important that is to you?
I'm more jokey in this sense.
Do you feel like you've won, Kevin? Does it make you feel good seeing white guys win for once in history?
Yeah, especially during these times. My God. Jeez, yeah, you sound like my dad every weekend. He's like the white male's getting taken out every commercial he watches where it's not a white family. He just argues at the TV. It's insane.
I can't believe people care about commercials. I've seen people get upset about that.
Most people should get upset that just a commercial is on, not what's on the commercial. It's like you should just be mad that you're watching a commercial. Why are you like actually watching it? You should be like, God damn, fucking commercial. You look at something else.
Yeah, my dad turns it down it says that, and then he goes, "Damn, why are the commercials so loud?" And then he turns the TV down. That's my father, not me. But I don't know. Sorry, what were you saying, Nick?
I'm interested to see if there's any sort of spin at all about like about the morality of the bomb.
I think that's what it is. I think the big part of this movie is that people are coming out of the movie feeling very shocked by it. Not in the sense only because every freaking trailer seems like it's showing little shockings and stuff. It's the idea of like what it's supposed to be pretty heavy. And that's why a lot of people are saying, you end the weekend with Barbie, but maybe start it off with Oppenheimer. I don't know. I know myself, when you see the trailer, it seems like every damn scene is him literally experiencing the most important thing in the entire world happening right in front of him. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
No.
Yes, Ecor.
Other than the actors and the name brand, do we think Barbie looks like a good movie?
I mean,
I see the trailers, so I tried to go in with an open mind, and I'm like
a fun movie.
I think so too.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, we've gotten a lot of fun movies, and like, this is
Nick Cartwright just dying of it.
And I'm just saying, I feel like I'm trying to be down for a good Barbie movie, and I'm just like, I don't know if it looks good. So I don't know.
I want to reverse question you. Are you expecting Barbie to be a real serious flick?
Yeah. Didn't say serious. Just there's fun, good, and there's bad. Or there's
they could make it
good fun, and there's bad fun.
Barbie's like, you know what? I want to be a lawyer. How about that? And it's like a real gritty. Like she has to pass the bar.
That's Nick. They made that. Nick. That's literally a movie. It's called Legally Blonde.
Yeah, I guess.
It's literally a movie.
Damn.
Reese Witherspoon.
Right
they did that.
That was quick, see.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a pretty popular movie.
You see how much I know. You see where my head's at. Okay, like I'm thinking of ideas that are upper echelon, sort of Hollywood blockbuster, already fresh out the gate. Like that's
people.
What
you mean ideas that people have already thought of that you've seen?
Well, that I didn't know, but okay, I accept that. But like. That idea made it to the top. You see what I'm saying? My ideas make it to the top.
Yeah.
I'd call that more recall, but agree to disagree.
Yeah, and what the top is, we don't know. But I will say what adds to what it bring it back to
Legally
Barbie
Blonde.
here.
Legally Blonde is the top.
I think what's helping Barbie is not as much as when it comes to Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan, but what's helping Barbie, and I was actually contemplating doing this, was Greta Gerwig is a very big director in kind of like the A24 world. And I was gonna say to you guys, we come up with our top 5 Greta Gerwig movies, but I don't think we know a lot about.
Can we just go A24?
Well, we could do that someday. I mean, do you have a favorite A24 movie, Seek?
Midsommar.
Hereditary.
Are you sure that's not just the first one you thought of?
No, I thought of Smile. Smile's A24, right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Fuck you. And I thought of Hereditary, but I said, because Hereditary, scarier. Midsommar, I like more.
Yeah.
Smile was not.
I knew 3 A24 movies off the top of my head. What can I say?
Smile is not A24.
Okay, 2.
And right now, this is just give you an idea of where the box office is at for this weekend. The prediction is going to be, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Mission Impossible, and then was surprisingly number 4 here. And this is why one of the reasons Nick is on here, and I hope he gives us a review, is The Sound of Freedom. is the number 4 movie in the box office right now. Have you heard of that movie, Seek?
Yeah. Oh, Nick's told me a lot about The Sound of Freedom. He won't stop telling me about The Sound of Freedom, and I'm slightly concerned.
No, it's not like I was actually kind of bummed by it. I was disappointed because I wanted it. I read all these articles about how it was right-wing propaganda and like QAnon inspired and all this stuff, and I got pretty excited because I thought this is going to be like January 6th. We're going to take the Capitol. There's going to be kids under there. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to look a lot like Joe Biden, but it's not Joe Biden. But everyone's like, it's Joe Biden or whatever. And it was none of that. It was just like a low-budget movie that had the main character, that actor, I can't remember his Caviezel.
Cazeel or something like that.
Jesus.
Horrific. Not
Jesus
good.
Christ.
And then but it was an interesting story. I will give it that. Like I was and then to find out that this thing actually happened. He created a sting where he caught a bunch of human traffickers in Colombia.
The actual actor?
No, the real story.
Tim Ballard, right?
Tim Ballard, who was I don't know what police force he worked for, but
okay.
I think CIA.
I give it like a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
But I don't think people. I'm just confused by all the tweets and stuff and the outrage over it. I'm just confused about that. I think it just might be because they hate the studio that it comes from. That like Faith or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't know what the name is, but you're right.
Yeah, and it's like they're not one of the cool kids. You know, Mel Gibson's involved. He's not well liked.
Isn't he the director?
He's not the cool
Isn't Mel
kid
Gibson
on the
the
block.
director?
No,
he's a producer.
A producer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
have they never seen Braveheart? Are they going to tell me Braveheart was bad?
I think
no.
I want someone to tell me.
Statue of limitations.
I don't think Steve knows about the controversy behind Mel Gibson, though. Do you know what happened with Mel Gibson?
That facial hair doesn't scream. I read up on Mel Gibson.
I love it. It's like Vu in our last episode was a huge fan of Ezra Miller, and then on the live on the episode was like, oh god, Ezra can't be a fan of him anymore.
Mel, yeah, I like do you ever hear about with not a lot of marbles? You know,
there's a
reason why you can't market behind the guy. Have you heard of it? Just Google Mel Gibson cop story.
Google it right now, Kevin.
Do it right now. Yeah, you're gonna just read a little bit about it. All right, boys, I'm gonna bring it back, and while you read about that,
but you guys should see it. Go see it.
It's fine.
There's an interesting thing at the credits start, and then a timer starts, and it says important message, and a timer starts ticking down, and it's hilarious to watch who gets up and leaves and who stays for the important message. And the important message is just an intense thing from the Caviezel.
I don't see the problem. Mel Gibson, Dragged Across Concrete has a 7 out of 10 on IMDb.
No. Well, Mel Gibson, he got in trouble when he got arrested for drinking and driving with the police. He just started bashing. I don't want to say it, but just Google it. He just started bashing.
He said a lot of anti-Semitic comments.
There we go. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
While being obviously drunk behind the wheel, which is
if you didn't know, Mel Gibson also released a movie called Dragged Across Concrete, which is the story of 2 police officers and who are suspended from the department while using excessive force against a drug dealer.
Okay. All right.
That's what I looked up literally Mel Gibson cop story, and that's what popped up. Was him making a movie about excessive force, probably painting them in glowing light.
Based on a true story, I'm sure, and whatnot. Yeah. All right. Well, then the next topic I was going to bring up, guys, since we're talking about Oppenheimer, is that very, very serious. Now, this is more of a Nick conversation because it's very serious writers in the industry. Are
serious.
Yeah, are claiming Oppenheimer is the best, the most important film of the century. Rates Paul Schrader. This one blows the doors off the hinges. He's saying and he wrote, he wrote Taxi Driver and The Card Counter. I haven't seen The Card Counter, but I mean, have you guys seen Taxi Driver?
Yeah, I've seen Taxi Driver.
Great movie, by the way.
Great movie.
And just been great reviews coming out. I know, gosh, somebody with the last name of Bird. I think he wrote the book, which is Oppenheimer's based off of American Prometheus. And it just tracks the creation of the atomic bomb during World War II through the eyes of a theoretical physicist and Manhattan Project leader, J. Robert Oppenheimer. As we know, Cillian Murphy is going to be the main actor in that, playing Oppenheimer. But he reviews it as saying, "I am the moment stunned and emotionally recovering from having seen it. I think it's going to be a stunning artistic achievement, and I hope it will actually stimulate a national, even global conversation about the issues that Oppenheimer was desperate to speak out about how to live in the atomic age, how to live with the bomb, and about McCarthyism," which I know a little about McCarthyism. I can't think about it a lot on the spot. I'm sure
everyone's a communist.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And what it means to be a patriot, and what is the role for scientists in a society drenched with technology and science to speak about public issues. I did not write that. I could barely even say that out loud, speak it in sentences. But
Kevin, have you seen Dr. Strangelove?
Dr. Strangelove? I don't think I have. No.
No, it's like an old movie. I think, who is the guy who did Clockwork Orange? Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick. We're just reading about this.
Yeah, so it's basically, I watched it when I was younger, so I don't remember it fully. But when you just said like, kind of, it's like how people like learn to deal with like the kind of pressures he was facing about the nuclear age. It's literally the full name of the movie is Dr. Strangelove: How I Learned to Stop Hating and Start Loving the Bomb. And it's like about people just like in a conference room being like, the bomb is kind of great. And it's like a comedy kind of thing. I highly recommend, even though I don't remember it.
I mean, but when you guys, okay, good. I'm glad you brought that up, Zeke.
Thank you.
But when you guys hear these reviews, I mean, does it add to, I think one, this is what's going to help with bringing it back to box office, why Oppenheimer is going to be a success. There's only been $2 billion movies for Christopher Nolan. It's The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight. So when bringing it back,
I'm sorry. Did you say how much?
There's only been two $1 billion movies that he's made so far. Just those two.
Movie cost $1 billion.
No.
Made.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So this movie coming out,
it made $1 billion.
No. That's what I'm trying to tell you is that.
Well, where's the billions coming from?
Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight are the only movies that that are the only movies that Christopher Nolan has made that made $1 billion at the box office. So what I was bringing it back
I didn't know they were doing that kind of numbers. That blows my mind that they made $1 billion.
Yeah, there's $25 billion movies in the history of film. Kind of crazy. But what I'm trying to say is I think the reviews are going to be so glowing and just so respected and bring to where they're going to have the legs. I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion. No movie's going to hit $1 billion unless it's a goddamn Italian man with his brother, plumbing in New York City. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only $1 billion film I could see happening this year, maybe Dune. But I was just saying, I think this is going to help with not only it being a fantastic film, but when you guys hear this review, what are your guys' thoughts behind that? Does it help incline you to go out to the theater even more? What are your guys' thoughts?
Movies need it. Movies really need it.
I'm going to the theater a lot just because the Alamo Drafthouse opened up like 2 train stops away. So it was never like I don't want to go to the movies thing. It was just a sheer like convenience thing for me.
Okay. I would say with Seek, how many movies have you been to this year?
3, 4?
Name them.
I saw The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh my god!
That's a YouTube movie.
That is a YouTube movie, yeah.
It was a fun movie. It was better than Indiana Jones. I'll say that right now.
Hey, rip.
It was better than Indiana Jones.
Sorry, bring it back. What else have you seen, Seek?
Oh, and then I saw the Nicolas Cage vampire movie.
You see a lot of movies that Christina wants to see. Are these actually movies you wanted to see?
Let's see here. I love Nick Cage, so I did want to see that.
Okay.
And then
I was not trying to. I just know that. Like,
yeah, no, she wanted to see
random
or
movies.
like she wanted to see a scary movie, and I was like, let's see what was the really fucked up one you guys saw. And I was like, let's see
Evil
that.
Dead?
Obviously, Evil Dead Rising.
Yeah.
And then she was like, can't handle that. And then she got a group of our
Wolf.
friends together. So we watched, which Pope's Exorcist was pretty good. I actually was pretty, except it was crazy when we were in the theater, and then like right after the movie started, Colorado, kind of, you're on edge when you're seeing a movie, Colorado,
Yeah.
and then and there's an intense scene right at the start, and then the fire alarm starts going off. So immediately my brain was just like, oh, here's where I die. Just gonna die. Active shooter in the theater, gonna kill me. Wasn't, just someone pulled the fire alarm. But that was...
Pope's Exorcist was not $1 billion movie, so there was no shootings. I think that's kind of like, you need to be at high... That movie.
Okay, also, I just want to say, I think like
movie.
We were like the only ones in the theater.
That's how you know you made a good movie.
We should make a top 10.
Yeah, Brad saw Pope's Exorcist. Is it just because Christina wanted to see it?
I mean, Brad likes horror movies too, though, right?
I mean, I was invited to it by you guys, so
yeah,
that'd be a good
listen. That'd be a good list, Nick. Just, like top 10 movies that should have had a shooting. We'll have to do
is it
great. That's a great
will we get kicked off? Are we gonna get kicked off YouTube if I say Barbie movie?
I mean, I don't know.
Honestly, I was seeing Sound of Freedom, and there was a guy who walked in by himself with a blanket, and I was kind of like, I watched him all the way to his seat until he sat down, because I was like, that's very weird, and I'm gonna look at him. There were a couple guys in there that I was like, I don't know which side you're on.
Couple Patriots.
This whole story. It's just, maybe you're just in it to.
Maybe some anti-patriots.
Yeah. Some guys who are like, I actually kind of just interested in the other side of things. I'm just gonna bring a blanket as a grown man to a movie theater.
A lot of judgments.
Oh, speaking of movie theater etiquette,
I'm just saying, bringing a blanket to a public place is embarrassing, and you should feel shame for it.
Okay, everyone, quick.
No one cares.
What's the worst movie theater you can have? Like, worst thing that pet peeves you that someone.
Good. I didn't want to answer that anyway.
Yeah, what kind of question was that? Oh, he's back. He's back.
I got a call. Got disrupted.
Finish your question.
Then, I said, what is the worst things people do at a movie theater?
Talk to me. If anybody who I do not know talks to me, I want to leave. I don't want to be there anymore. It happened last night. Spider-Man.
Someone just talked to you?
I was sitting there before the movie, and Alamo Drafthouse was doing this thing. They were doing some Spider-Man stuff. I've ingested a lot of marijuana at this point. And there's the Spanish Spider-Man on the screen, and they're doing just listing facts about him. And then he looks over at me and goes, I think this is my favorite Spider-Man. Like, this rendition of Spider-Man is my favorrit.
A random person did that.
Yep, just me and him in the theater. Only two guys in the theater. And he's like 7 seats down. Like, so he kind of had to be like, I think this is my favorite Spider-Man. And I was like, yeah. And then I put my arms in my shirt. I was like, I don't want to communicate anymore.
Okay.
Well, obviously I had a story when I asked it. Okay, I was at a movie within the last year, and this person next to me just took their shoes off and put their feet up on the seat. Ooh. And had the smelliest feet. Oh. And I literally had to say, "Can you put your shoes back on?" It was like ruining the experience. And he was very embarrassed. Like, you could just see his friend he was with a buddy. Immediately, his buddy just starts dying laughing.
Well, because his buddy definitely was like, damn, those stink, but you're my friend, so I guess I won't say anything.
Yeah, no, it was like the worst smelling feet. And I was just like, and it was like a packed theater. I don't even remember the movie, but it was just like it was a crowded theater, and he just took his shoes off, put them up, and it was just it was an Oppenheimer bomb.
That's a wild move.
I've seen people I think close to having sex. I think I've seen somebody give head during a movie theater. Like that's something that really ruins the experience for me, I would say.
At the latest
Depends
Spider-Man
on the
movie,
person.
latest Spider-Man movie, a guy next to me was eating a Chipotle bowl.
That was me. That was me. I brought the Chipotle in.
I would say
Okay.
someone having sex can either hurt or add to the experience, depending on the couple.
Well,
In
dude,
the movie.
I think
In
they're
the
the
In the
only.
I'm
movie.
seeing Schindler's List. I'm like, all right, can we relax on the
Yeah.
canoodling during
Yeah.
this?
I'm seeing Sound of Freedom. Can we relax on the
Yeah,
canoodling?
yeah, exactly. Like everyone should feel gross right now. Not like, but yeah, Barbie should be like, people should
Yeah.
not wear
Fuck.
clothes.
Toy Story
Yeah.
4.
Fuck during Barbie.
Oppenheimer for sure.
It's funny, Kevin. Didn't you say people suggested seeing Oppenheimer first?
Yeah. Just
That's
because-
that's wild to me. I think it would be the other way around.
I know.
Because-
It's gonna be a better movie if you ask me.
Well, that and the fact that you watch, you're like, damn, America killed like a ton of people and like and the bomb and all this, and then you go see
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
You're
like,
seeing you're seeing Nicki Minaj twerking in a Barbie outfit.
You're
Like,
this is not making me happy. This is like, I want the bomb.
Well, I mean, that was
where's the
the
Barbenheimer part come in here?
no, that was the sequence of events. We bombed Japan. We got Pokemon. Like it was an exact sequence of what happened.
That was the transaction.
Yeah, it was like boom, bomb, boom, anime. Like it went from like, oh my god, terrible thing to like
Pokenheimer.
yeah.
Yeah, I was seeing where did this come from? That's a
I
great
mean, Barbie's
thought.
like da-na-na-na-na, and
I
that's
think
kind
there
of
was,
like
like-
Japanese anime. Japanese anime is like da-na-na-na-na,
I think it took him a
da-na-na-na-na.
while to start drawing cartoons. I think there was at least like 15, 20 years of like radiation deaths and stuff and like horribleness.
You don't get
But then they
Pokemon
started
without a
drawing
little
cartoons.
yeah, you don't get it. You don't get it without a
Gotta
little
break a couple eggs, you know?
to make it up.
Very nice. Very
That
nice.
would be a really funny thing to say in the movie theater when after the bomb blows up, you go, I gotta break a couple eggs, you know?
Just in a packed theater, just yell it. Gotta break a couple eggs.
Oh my god! So are you guys gonna see the movie or not?
Yeah, 100%. I'm
Yeah,
seeing.
yeah.
All right,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good.
I've seen
I'll watch
so
Barbie
much
at home. I
trash.
think though.
I mean,
Every-
when you guys knew about this movie, was this on like you guys' top list of like movies, like potential movies of the year? Would you say Oppenheimer? Going into
Yeah.
it, knowing it's a Christopher Nolan film.
100%.
I wanted to see it before I knew that because I just learned about it from watching the trailer in the theater. And the second you get a little taste of that boom, you're like, oh, I want to see that.
Yeah.
And then it made sense. Once I learned it was a Christopher Nolan movie, I was like, oh, that makes sense. He likes to play with big noises. It's a big noise guy.
Yeah,
Mike
big
Bay's a
noise
big
guy.
boom guy, and Christopher Nolan's a big noise guy.
Kevin, how many have we gotten any live watchers?
I don't think I've seen one yet, but I've been so focused on you guys and making sure we don't get any canceled. I think we're at a nice we're at a nice level right now.
I
for
tiptoed
sure.
the
I think we're
line, but
fine.
you know, I don't think I was canceled.
No. I think we're fine. This is great so far, guys. Where's Christopher Nolan on you guys' list of like top directors?
I mean, go ahead, Brad.
Oh no, he's number one.
He's number
Oh,
one for
I
me
thought-
too.
I thought you wanted to say something. Shit. Who did Gladiator?
Ridley Scott.
Shit.
Hey,
He's so Nick,
name the main actor of Gladiator.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, name the main actor of Pope's Exorcist.
And
Boom.
who's the
Russell
reason-
fucking Crowe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What point are
yeah,
you trying
talking
to
shit
make?
earlier. Just wanted to bring that up. Just
That
wanted to bring that up.
you know-
When you said, "Hey, greatest movie, like greatest director." Oh, Gladiator. Yeah, same actor, bitch.
Whoa.
Hey, you got to break a couple eggs to get Gladiator, my friend.
Yeah, you gotta break the legs.
What about you, Sieg? Where's Nick? You both, if you guys are thinking about it, whoever's got an
I
answer.
think he's got to be my. It's hard to say because it's not like he made my favorite movie of all time, you know, but he makes good movies that I like watching, which is a lot. And
yours
a lot
would
of
be what is yours, James Wan? If it's, I guess you didn't say. You said I was thinking Conjuring.
Silence
you said
of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. That's who is that?
I don't know. I should know, right? It's my favorite movie.
Jonathan Demme.
Also, the two siblings. You notice how careful I was. The two siblings who made The Matrix.
Yes,
I like them
yes.
just for being fucking crazy and weird. And they made that movie. So he's definitely top 3 because all of his movies that I do enjoy. I've seen them all, which is crazy to say.
Yeah. I like that those are your 3.
All of my movies.
That's an interesting 3 for sure. What about you, Seek?
So the director that made the most of my actual favorite movies is probably Francis Ford Coppola.
I knew you were going to say that. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say Kubrick, not Coppola.
No, I don't like Stanley Kubrick movies that much.
You don't?
No, I have not enjoyed his movies that much. But like Apocalypse Now is my favorite movie of all time.
Yep.
And then he also made The Godfather, which I absolutely love. But then, you know, I'm also, I mean, in our generation though, like definitely Christopher Nolan's probably my favorite.
But I also feel like you gotta shout out Denis Villeneuve because holy cowabunga.
Yeah.
Dune, yes.
Arrival, like he's putting some Sicario. I mean,
the top directors today. I mean, you look. It's
and then Quentin Tarantino.
Tarantino,
you know.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, my next topic was Tarantino. I mean, Christopher Nolan loves the idea that. Have you guys heard that Tarantino's got one more movie left? I think it's his 10th film, and then it's done. Like he's gonna retire.
That, yeah.
What do you guys' thoughts on that? Does it really do anything for you? Or are you kind of like, oh, I wish we had more?
No, it's time. Go ahead. You don't want to do what Clint Eastwood does, and now he's like just ancient, being like, all of his movies are like,
yeah.
Like, you don't want to see that sad. Just stop. Make a good one though. Make
I'm with Nick.
At least. Don't.
I would
make
agree
it better.
too.
Make it better than Hateful Eight. How about that?
Hateful, yeah. I mean, all those movies have, that's fapping right there, Nick. I like it. I mean, I feel like he doesn't create bombastic movies by any means like Christopher Nolan, but Quentin Tarantino still at the end of the day, I think it's every movie he puts out is still kind of like an event. I mean,
oh yeah. I still haven't seen
Once Upon a Time.
I should see that. I should watch that.
It wasn't the best movie.
A little long. I liked it.
That
like every movie
insane.
nowadays, just too long.
Too long.
But it was a good movie.
I would agree. What do you think about that, Brad? Anything you want to add to that with the Quentin Tarantino? I mean,
I'm going to be honest with you, not a big fan.
You're not a big fan of Quentin Tarantino?
I don't think his movies really blow me away, or I go out of my way to see them.
Okay.
Have you seen a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies?
Hateful Eight and Django Unchained, Kill Bill 2.
Yeah.
Django's a great film. You didn't like Django.
Yeah, Django's good, but like
you didn't like Kill Bill?
I just don't think they ever really blew me away.
Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction. I think Pulp Fiction's kind of overrated, in my opinion.
He's got a style.
That's probably the strongest opinion of the podcast.
No. I'll give you overrated because it's like every.
I mean, people say like top 5, top 10. I don't agree.
Is at least top
10. Is it something about like one thing that Quentin Tarantino does is they call him non-linear formatting when he makes movies, his stories. So, you may get A, B, and then F, and then K, and then gets back to C. Is it things like that? Or like sometimes there's scenes where it's just you're looking at someone's eyes for like 10 minutes straight while they're just talking about potatoes. You know what I mean?
I don't have like a specific point. They're just like forgettable. Like,
interesting.
I just don't think about them. I don't remember them very well. Whereas other movies like I mentioned before is ones that I think about past seeing them.
See, for me,
several
I will say
lines I remember from Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I would say for the scene I remember most of Quentin Tarantino's movies.
I like it. Yeah,
Quentin Tarantino's movies is when Uma Thurman is like buried alive and she just breaks out.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's for me so memorable.
I love any of those battles. Or God, or did you ever see Inglourious Basterds, Brad?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the bear.
Actually, you know what? I really like that movie, and it sounds horrible, but until Hitler died, and then I was like, oh, it's like a fake thing. And the whole time I was buying it, like, oh, this is so cool. Like,
you thought like there was like a bear Jew?
Well, yeah, I was like totally bought it, and then I saw like Hitler got blown away in a movie theater, and I was like, oh, it's like a fake thing, which bummed me out. But I was like 16, so I didn't know what was going on. I didn't read up on the movie or whatever, but I still love that movie.
You heard it here first. Nick bummed that Hitler died.
That might be the strongest take of the night.
A lot of strong takes. A lot of strong takes.
Interesting.
But that first scene in that movie is like
with the family.
Crazy. Yeah.
Oh my God. Seek. Okay, guys. Besides Brad, Seek, Nick. Now that we're going to name your guys' favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, if you can, or the first one that comes to your brain, go.
Memento.
No, that's Christopher Nolan.
Oh, I was talking about Christopher Nolan.
Sorry, Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino.
Sorry.
Save that for later.
Reservoir Dogs. I like
Reservoir Dogs. Okay.
That's my favorite.
Oh God, I do. I don't even know if I can name a favorite. God damn.
I think mine's Django.
I'd say mine's Inglourious Basterds if I have any right to say.
Okay. So you didn't. I don't think you hated that one.
Can I? I'm just gonna pick Kill Bill because no one picked it. I feel like this is a draft, and I have to pick something different. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right.
And Inglourious Basterds when he goes grazie. I mean that's
good
stuff.
Brad Pitt.
Grazie.
That movie was like the beginning of Brad Pitt's like doing what they called him doing like side story missions. I feel like that's one of his like the beginning where he just shows up in random shit. I feel like I don't know. I didn't expect him. He wasn't like the main. I mean, I guess he was the main guy in it, but I mean, it's him or Christopher Waltz. I guess would say. But
yeah.
All right, to go on a tangent there. Our next topic, I want to give a quick. So I think one of the big reasons why we got Nick Cartwright here on the podcast and now C-Cord, but I feel like C can't really add to this is the idea of what we have. Our topic is this one is called Hot Seat with Nick Cartwright - animated films. And I think the reason why we are having this topic is because Brad and I, we watched and we experienced Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse together. I think it's my favorite movie of the year so far. Yeah, I mean that. And I think I'm going into it with the mentality of heck yeah, it's an artistic masterpiece. It's a cartoon. I don't think that discredits itself from being a great story and a great film at the end of the day. Nick, I just kind of want to hear your thoughts about this and just what were your thoughts on Spider-Man as well?
Give me 1 second. I'm plugging I'll give you that. It did look cool.
And see, you saw the first movie. You loved it, correct?
I love the first movie. I haven't seen the second.
I don't throw love around really, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But I couldn't. It's just maybe it's the plot device of having multiple dimensions. I'm just so tired of it, and it just bummed me out. And I kind of just if there's multiple, I never understand the real the point of it because why would we care about any of the dimensions if there's infinite dimensions? Why couldn't we just go to another dimension where things are okay? So I don't get into the tension of all the stuff. But yeah, I don't know how to. What was the question?
You didn't watch the movie because Miguel's character tried doing that. He tried going to another universe and it didn't work.
Well, yeah, because he kept going. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about? He was in the wrong universe because at that point.
But it wasn't just as easy as being like, hey, I can go to any universe and the world's fine. It kind of brings it back to, gosh, the beginning of the day old saying of the butterfly effect. If you and it's not the same, but it's like you can't just be in another universe and be able to change things. I guess and
that's
be able
true.
to
Okay,
handle things.
They would glitch out.
I guess it just does a great job of doing multidimensional / multiverse Just there's a good multiverse discussion with it as well. I think it's just as well when you compare this movie to just how deep and how layered it is. When you were listening there for the 2.5 hours? I mean, what do you think of that? Did you notice the time? And besides the guy yelling at you about the Spanish Spider-Man, I mean, did you were the thing? Was it a long movie to you, or me and Brad? I mean, I'll give you our answer after, but
I mean, it didn't feel long, but that's because it's it's like a fucking
it's go.
You can, and it's so in a way, I guess, that's good, but I think it exhausted me. I mean, really? It just was like the villain didn't.
You didn't like Jason Schwartzman as Spot?
Yeah, his character arc is insane.
Essentially Ryan Tapper, Nick.
Essentially Ryan Tapper? I mean, that's a crazy thing to say. I mean, the most evil thing he did in that whole movie, from what I could understand, was try to steal an ATM out of a convenience store.
Right.
And then he got strong.
Then Miles Morales doubted him, and he said, "Fuck that. I'm going to be big then."
And I feel like that's one of the greatest things about having a villain is a villain who doesn't think that they're justified in their villainy. He was completely justified the idea of like, my entire life was taken away because of you, and that's why I'm doing this. And because
not
you
really
me,
though, right? Because
he was a scientist, and then
the spider got out, right?
Did you see the first one? Or no? Forget. Did you say that? Did you see the first one?
Yes, yeah, I did. He gets bit by the spider that came from the other dimension.
Yeah.
So, but
when the collider exploded, that's what caused Spot to be infected by the black
right, because all the shit,
and he views that as Miles' fault
because he lost his career, he lost his he lost his family technically too. It wasn't like I lost my
skin.
Right.
Sounds like it was Miles' fault.
Exactly. I mean, he's justified in it. It's not just like I'm a villain to be a villain.
And then he went inside himself. He went inside himself and then can travel dimensions.
Sounds like what you do every night, Nick.
I definitely go inside myself, but there's no interdimensional travel. It's very one-dimensional.
Well, I think because you're right. I mean, that was a.
I mean, I know it's a superhero movie. I know there's going to be
There's going to be
crazy stuff.
What do you call it when it's like
a comic book?
Right. Yeah.
But I just don't. I didn't.
Are you a big comic book guy yourself?
Absolutely not. So everything's a big sell for me. I mean, the only superhero movies I enjoyed were by Christopher Nolan. And
interesting. You didn't like any of Marvel?
No.
No Tobey Maguire Spider-Man?
Okay, yes, I did enjoy Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, there we go.
I did enjoy that. But I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Now you're a man. You stand.
I am.
Here we go.
Adult.
Here we go.
To have somebody's child taken away from them.
Miguel had his child taken away from him. You literally see her disintegrate in his hands.
Wait, what? When? In what?
In the world, right? That's what he's so mad about. Is that he was trying to save people and he had his daughter in his hands and she disintegrated. Correct? Am I correct about that, Brad? Or was I don't think I'm confused. I might be.
Yeah, he lost his family.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, Nick.
You got to retort.
Exactly what you just said.
It's in a nonsense way. That's in a nonsense.
Well, it makes the most sense when it comes to multiverse. Retort. I don't think that's a very good retort either. Yeah, no offense.
That's a bad retort.
I don't know how to.
Kevin and Brad won.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to present my argument as to why I don't like a movie.
No,
but
that's why it's called the hot seat. We're not putting you up on.
And let me tell you,
you're on trial, my friend.
My buns are roasting.
Yeah. I mean, and I want to say something even crazier, and I think.
And I gotta be honest. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I probably fell asleep at some point because I remember a good hour of it, and then I remember them on some sort of. It looked like a train going into the sky.
Wow.
Yeah, that's near the.
And then I remember the rest. I remember then the rest of the movie. So I remember a good amount, and then there's some fuzziness for some reason.
50% of that theater was sleeping.
And
That's when the guy yelled at you saying, "I love that guy."
Yeah, I didn't know it was 2.5 hours long, and it started at 9:50, and then
That's probably why it flew by, is because you fell asleep.
Yeah, I had been there since 7 drinking. So
Had you?
Okay. This is beside. I know this is besides the point. I will watch it again and maybe come on later and give my real opinion.
Not happening.
Yeah,
Not happening.
That's very nice of you, I would say.
No, I would watch it again because it did look very cool. Maybe you're a guy. You're inspiring me to
Once
give
it comes out
shot.
on streaming or something, we can do a live stream.
Oh, that would be great. What about The Flash, Kevin? Tell me about The Flash. Tell me why that's a good movie.
I like this. Now you're putting me back on there. I'll say this, guys. I think the hype of being the excitement. Yeah, let me finish before you get into it. I think the excitement and the hype and everyone's saying it's the greatest movie of all time. And now that I'm seeing the results of the box office and I'm starting to sway things and I'm starting to see things online, and I'm just thinking to myself, maybe I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit.
Or just drinking.
I was actually sober for it. I wish I was drinking. Man, yeah, dude. I think The Flash, out of all the DC movies, was a good single. I think it was even better than Aquaman, if you ask me. The story, CGI
I can
shit.
believe that.
CGI shit. I really liked Man of Steel. Man of Steel was my favorite out of all the movies. And I know that's very, it's half and half. People like it and whatnot. I just think when I'm comparing it to all the other DC movies of the last 10 years and why we are so excited to move on from this into the new universe is it had a very low bar to hit, and I think it hit it. And I was so excited about like the hype about Tom Cruise saying it's a masterpiece, and my God, they had Stephen King saying that it was a great movie. And then I'm starting to think maybe this was all part of a marketing scheme to get people out to see it. Yeah,
Stephen King
has DC released one good movie?
Since Dark Knight, no, because I think
Dark Knight was DC.
Yeah, since
was that part of their whole like?
No,
because that was Chris.
Don't don't get that confused.
Yeah, because I didn't think that was part of their whole thing. That was like Christopher Nolan doing his own thing, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Same with the new Batman movie. That's also its own thing. Same with the Joker movie that just came out, won Best Picture. Those are all its own thing.
I feel like the Joker wasn't that good.
I really liked it. Did you see that one, Nick and Brad?
I have not.
No, I didn't want to see it because it seemed that everyone was like, it's about this guy who's struggling at open mics, and I was like, I
and he becomes a mental. He gets insane.
Yeah, I don't want to go in there and be like, oh my God. I don't need to. Lived it, seen it, do it. I don't want to. I don't need it right now. But maybe at some point, if I'm ever making.
There is a lot of comparisons. Dark Knight originated in Chicago. Joker originates doing open mics. I mean, I'm drawing a lot of dots together.
Something crazy like $45,000.
He has dark hair. He's a little pale. He does big.
He does go on Omegle a lot in the movie. I do remember that.
Yeah. He's a big calzone guy too. He eats a lot of calzone.
Buffalo chicken.
It seems like it's honestly a Pizza Hut commercial. It's not even a joke.
See this movie. What if it's just me? And I was like, damn, this movie's literally me the whole time. Like it's like a Truman Show of me. And I'm like, God, I could have won an award.
God damn it.
Brad, have you seen Truman Show? Is that also a show I need to add to your list of movies to watch?
Add it to the list, my guy.
Oh, you got to see Truman Show, man. Truman Show is insane.
I also haven't seen the Truman Show.
See the Truman Show. It's amazing, bro. You'll love it as soon as possible. It's Jim Carrey. You're gonna think,
I love Jim Carrey.
Okay, good. You should see it.
It's so good.
It's Jim Carrey's best movie. Would you say, Nick?
Yes, I would say. I mean, people are gonna Dumb and Dumber. No, Truman Show is like
Ace Ventura.
Yeah,
exactly my point. Someone pulling down their pants and talking with their butt.
Doesn't he shove his head out of? Doesn't he shove his
rhino?
Head out of,
rhino butt.
Yeah.
He gives birth to himself.
Yeah.
No, this movie's like funny and kind of like
deep.
Yeah, it's kind of like an episode of Black Mirror. It's cool.
Yep.
One of the new episodes of Black Mirror literally was an hour and a half, and I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Which one was it? The one where it was we all hate
Aaron
Jane?
Paul. It was Aaron Paul in space.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Is that a good one?
It's very good. It's a good movie. It's a movie, and it's good. That's what movies should be, right there.
Gotcha. Well, Nick, hey man, I thank you so much for jumping on the hot seat.
Thank you for having me.
We're on the hour mark of the show, so I feel like we should get to the main event, which is what we were here, which we all had our homework for. Yeah,
Nick thought it was over.
The main event.
Yeah, the main event.
I need to pee.
Yeah, everyone, think about this. We're gonna go through our top 5 Christopher Nolan movies, and then we'll get the show on the road for you. I know it's getting kind of late for you over in the Central Coast there. God, Seek, it's fucking.
I'm all right.
It's almost 11.
It's 10:40. I have to wake up at 6:30 tomorrow, but I'm grinding. All I do is grind.
Well, I think we just run. Yeah, there you go, Seek. We'll run through our top 5 list of Christopher Nolan movies in honor of Oppenheimer opening up this weekend. Brad, if you wanted to go first, you could take it away. And then we can either do it like you can do. Everyone else can do their own 5 or comment and just be like, oh, that one was actually 4 for me, or we can start with that. I'll say we just you bring up your 5. We can talk about where we put that on our list, and then we can talk about it, and then move on to and then if anyone else has more to add, we can go there. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Perfect sense.
Okay.
Perfect sense. Yeah. All right, we're starting number 1 for me. It's got to be Interstellar. It's got to be a beautiful McConaughey performance. Number 2, I'm going Inception. Number 3, Prestige. One of his ones that I just wish got more love. I really do. Which I know it gets love.
I think it did. I think it honestly got nominated for best picture. I'm pretty sure back then.
I saw that movie in theaters.
Did you actually?
That's a great theater movie.
Yeah.
I saw Interstellar. Did you guys all see Interstellar in like IMAX?
I think just normal.
Oh,
I think I saw just normal theater, but I was on drugs and it was fantastic.
Yeah, Interstellar was a really good movie. Really good movie.
Then to my number 4, Dark Knight. I almost said the wrong thing, but I deleted it because Nick called me out before we started recording. So Dark Knight's number 4.
Oh, what'd you put down?
I think I called it like Dark Knight Rises.
That's the third one.
I said Dark Returns.
You said Returns, which is not a movie.
That's the comic.
Yeah, sorry, big comic guy over here. Big comic guy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then number 5, Memento. I think that one is like his most creative in how it's shot.
Yeah, I just recently rewatched that movie, and it was because I think I wasn't stoned during it, so I truly understood what was going on. That's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I wouldn't even put that on my top 10, even though I think he's only made 10. I would have put that like last for me. Now it's definitely, it doesn't make top 5 for me, but it gets up there. So cool, Brad. Anything else you want to add to your list? What was your number 1 again?
Interstellar.
Why is Interstellar your number 1?
I'm just a big space guy. I love outer space.
Yeah.
I think that shit's super cool. And so when you throw in like different realities and trying to communicate with the past and loops and shit, I ate it up.
We've all seen Interstellar, right?
Oh yeah.
What'd you guys think about his what he put down as like a black hole experience?
Thought it was good.
You thought it was good? You thought it made sense?
Yeah. And it made me think. It made me think if I was in like a parallel universe, how would I try to talk to someone? I'd probably
That's a cool thought to think about.
I'd probably do Morse code up the bum, but not to my kid. Different scenario. Just
put up someone's bum. You're just
I just boop, 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 boop.
I think that moment was the same thing as Hitler dying in Inglourious Bastards for my Interstellar experience.
I would say the whole time for me too.
The whole time I was going under the impression I was like, oh, this movie is like they talk to a lot of physicists and like this is like some real shit right here. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, it's like a fantasy thing. But it was I still enjoyed the movie. And then the when they end on that planet that's all like curved up on itself, I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
And they're like, leave the mountains in the background, but it's just a fucking massive wave.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it's if you want that movie, but like where they talk to a bunch of physicists, it's The Martian. The Martian, they actually taught like that
Yeah.
movie is like, and the book that is based off of like that author like went basically hit up so many astrophysicists and was just like, how would this shit actually work?
Yeah.
And
It's
like
also
just
a very fun
he talked,
space movie. Yeah.
yeah, very
Yeah.
fun space movie. But that one's like actually based in a lot of just like there's some stretches, but that one's more like true to life of like how scientists think all that stuff would work.
And I think Interstellar had one of the best holy shit actor moments where you're like, oh my god, Matt Damon's in this movie like 3/4 of the way through, and then he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
That's true.
that was a pretty cool surprise. Yeah,
That
that's a
was
good point.
That whole chunk was awesome. Actually,
Could you see them doing a sequel to Interstellar?
maybe if he needs like a new home or something, if he gets divorced and he needs a new house.
Well, he has to go save. He has to go save. He leaves for a new planet just to get away from his.
No,
ex-wife.
Christopher Nolan. I'm saying if he
Yeah, like
needs,
in real life, if he gets divorced,
Yeah.
needs money.
I was like,
I
man,
don't think
need,
he'll
like,
need money. He has multiple
hundreds of-
billion-dollar movies, but you know,
Yeah,
He's like, man,
I think he
need
can afford a
hundreds of millions
divorce.
of dollars.
I would say. I mean, Interstellar. I could see the idea. I've gotten stoned many a nights and just tried writing sequels for those kind of movies. And I mean, he does have to go save Anne Hathaway, and it ends the movie with him getting into that plane. So I could see like a sequel somehow. With that.
Oh, never mind. Christopher Nolan's house, not that extravagant. I just googled
Was it in London?
Yeah, I mean it's nice. Don't get me wrong, it's nice. But I've seen
Having a house in London in general is $1 bajillion. So that was
Yeah.
the other thing. Can I say one more thing about Spider-Man? The
Yeah.
to be continued after 2.5 hours really cheeses me off a little bit.
Shut. It's
you're
a
not gonna
comic
like-
book
You're
movie.
not gonna like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh.
gonna see it, dude. I'm not.
What?
3 hours. I can't.
Such a good movie. I know
Oh,
we
it's
didn't get
so
to
good.
it. We didn't get to
We'll
it.
have to get that on the
Wow.
next episode, Brad, with Vu. 'Cause I think
Oh,
he's gonna
never
watch
mind.
it too.
Christopher Nolan actually he might need money. He apparently bought a house in the hills and then bought out 6 of his neighbors so he didn't have neighbors.
He
in the Hollywood
actually did
Hills.
that.
Well,
Yeah,
a tweet
gotta
says that,
respect
so
it.
I haven't even clicked on the tweet. It's just on the Google results. But I'm gonna believe it.
Okay.
It's on Google.
Okay. Seek, do you got a list of top 5 movies for Christopher Nolan?
Of course.
All right.
Of course,
You're
of
up,
course.
Yeah, he's
So-
not frantically googling all of his movies. man.
I was simply Googling his house.
You can Google. I Google.
Oh, I had to. Yeah, I
I'll
did
go
too.
hands above head for this segment. Memento.
Got,
Then I will say Dark Knight.
got. I like
Then
that.
I will say Interstellar. Then I'll say Dark Knight Rises,
Got.
and then The Prestige.
Got. I like that.
No
Yeah.
Inception, top 5.
Yeah, no Inception, really.
I liked Inception.
Did you forget about it?
No, didn't forget about Inception. No, I don't like. It's a movie I think I've watched 1.5 times. Like I tried to rewatch it, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen this. I get it. Whereas like the other movies I found more rewatchable, and like where it was like, wow, these are awesome. Whereas I tried to rewatch Inception, and I was just like,
That
yeah, I
that
remember.
baffles me because Inception's like the perfect rewatchable
Oh God, yeah.
movie.
I think is that Leo DiCaprio's best movie he's ever made, or he's
I think
been a
it's
part
my
of.
favorite. My favorite of his.
I want you guys to actually think about that because I don't think there's not
What's the
many
one with
that-
the great big fat lady that can't get out of her house? Really like that one. Plays a retarded child.
Oh God, you're right. Yeah, it's not What's Killing Gilbert Grape. It's
Oh, it's something. Yes. Something Gilbert Grape. Yeah.
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's his brother in it.
Yes.
Okay, okay. That he did get nominated for,
I just
for
like
best
that
actor.
movie.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's good.
I'm more of
and
the
it's-
Revenant
it's-
guy.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio acting, being a retarded boy, which is funny to see. Shutter Island was good too.
Thank God we're not putting this episode on Spotify. I will say that. Yeah, this one's
Wait,
good.
we're not putting this on Spotify?
This is a good YouTube one. Oh, we're live on YouTube for all the followers.
Yeah, but we should put this on Spotify.
I don't think
still.
I don't think it'll be able to save the. I don't like I'm because we're live streaming through 3. I don't know if I can do it. No, I'm kidding. It's on StreamYard.
Sounds like you won't do it.
It's on StreamYard, and we're not actually downloading it to StreamYard. We're actually doing
It's
a
not
live video. You
recording
can,
it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can only do one or the other. You can record it and then put it on YouTube, or you can put it live on YouTube and then.
Okay. I would say I can, you know, I do it all the time, YouTube to MP3, but you know.
Oh, we could do that if you want to. Yeah, we'll get it on there. See, all right, I'll get it on there.
We'll have the discussion later. The Revenant. The Revenant is my favorite Leo movie.
Okay. All right, that's a good.
I love rewatching. I love rewatching it. It just, I don't know. I guess like Brad said, he's a big space guy. I'm a big woods and snow and hard life guy. Like watching that.
You were like, hard life, huh?
I like watching people just
Woods
struggle
and
through the
snow
woods.
Hard life.
Yeah, just, you know.
Speaking of that, can I talk about one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies that no one's even brought up yet?
Hey, buddy, go through your list. Yeah.
Well, Prestige is number one because that's, just front to back. You got Dark Knight number two, strictly because of the Joker in that, because that was sweet. And then Insomnia number three.
I've never seen that one.
Nor I.
Also never saw it.
Isn't he? Is he directing or is he producing that one?
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure he directed it.
He directed that puppy, yes, sir. It's
Interesting.
Al
Good choice.
Pacino. It's a thriller detective movie. He goes to Alaska to solve a murder, and it's daylight all the time, and you get to watch Al Pacino, who is the funniest. He loses his mind, but he's still Al Pacino. He's like, God, I can't do it. It's not light all the time. It's fucking phenomenal.
Shit, dude,
It's
I gotta see this thing.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, Robin Williams is in it.
yeah.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
can't believe I haven't.
Yeah, it's
Great choice. Great choice.
It's a little killer. And then Inception and Interstellar is my fifth. And Inception's my fourth because mostly because of that meme of when they're all in the plane and they all like look at each other and they're like, yeah. And how many times that's brought me joy. And the scene where they're walking on walls in the hotel, I think is like iconic.
Yeah. You're right.
And how the fuck I still don't know how they shot that. Probably built a hotel hallway upside down or something.
Look at that.
I think it was a structure.
Yeah.
That they just kept moving.
That it was rotating? Okay.
Yeah.
Nick, I thought you knew people in the film industry and would like understand these things.
Yeah. You know, my buddy was probably on set on that, but I could probably hit him up to see how like what the machine is called. And, it's all cool.
I'm glad we could get Nick on the podcast with the Screen Actors going under strike right now.
Oh yeah, I know so much about that. I know like every detail about all that stuff that's going on, but I don't want to bore you guys. What are we doing next though?
Yeah, we got a co-main event as you going through that. It's
yeah, we have time for that. That's great. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no. Hey, guys. Well, hey guys, I think, and then my list is it's Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar, Prestige, and The Dark Knight Rises. And boys, I think that is a wrap for the second live episode with guests Secord and Nick Cartwright. We thank you guys for joining the FAP universe. I think we had a lot of good things we were able to talk to. I need to adjust the name because we never got to go through the Mission Impossible review. But we had a great discussion on Barbenheimer, and I think running through Christopher Nolan's top movies of his career, I think for all of us. I mean, God, where did the time go? I don't know how the hell we put an hour and 10 minutes into here, but we did it. So, hey, you guys want to give out any quick shout outs before we log off? I think we had maybe
Fuck You Dad podcast.
Today. Yeah, Fuck You Dad podcast.
You can subscribe if you want to. But just go see Sound of Freedom, guys. It's just super important. So,
all right.
You know, it's my civic duty actually to tell you people to go get a ticket to that movie.
How many people have you told to go see that movie so far?
Millions. As many people. I scream it on the train. I tell people every day to go see that movie. It's really important.
Right. Great. Well, thanks for having you boys jump on today. that is it for this episode of FEP, and we'll see you guys next week.